Hi, and welcome to Board of Life News for September 6th. Today I'm going to talk about Battle for Rokugan, Altiplano, Azul, and the Kickstarter for the network executives. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board of Life News. So I've actually missed 3 weeks in a row of this show, and I very greatly apologize, especially because it was during all the Gen Con craziness, so a lot of big announcements got missed, but I have a pretty decent reason for it, but it's a pretty huge bummer, so I'm going to talk about it after the show, so if you're interested to know why or whatever, stick around after the news. Otherwise, just click right out and have a good day, and don't get bummed out at all. So, cool. Fantasy Flight Games announced Battle for Rokugan. This is a 2 to 5 player strategy game set in the Legend of the Five Rings universe, which is an IP they acquired about a year or so ago. In it, you're different, daimyos? Yeah, daimyos, battling for control of different territories. The battle system sounds very similar to the Game of Thrones board game, where you have tokens that are like your move, whether you're going to ally with a person or attack a person or defend, and those are all placed out in secret, and you reveal them, so you can do a lot of backstabbing, very similar to Game of Thrones. And then the board also looks a lot like, pretty unfortunately for them, I'm sure that both of these companies already had all this stuff set up, and it just turns out, but it looks a lot like Rising Sun, and it's a sort of similar, like, Asian fantasy inspired universe. So it's going to be pretty tough, kind of a narrow, needle to thread? Yeah, needle to thread. For them if they want this to be successful, but it's Fantasy Flight Games, so I'm sure they won't have too much problem with it. I think it's supposed to be a little bit faster than the Game of Thrones board game, which is good, because that game can kind of drag on. It's a great game, but it can get long. And this game, the Battle for Rokugan, has absolutely gorgeous artwork, nice presentation, so yeah, looks interesting. DLP Games announced Altiplano. This is a bag builder for 2 to 5 players. The reason I'm super excited about it, beyond the fact that it's just a bag builder, which is a genre of game I like a lot, but it's by Rainier Stockhausen, who designed Orleans, my favorite bag builder, and one of my favorite games. In this game, there's not a ton of information on how it actually works, or maybe there is and I just didn't see it, but it's set in South America, and you're collecting and organizing goods. It seems like you're transporting some goods, and you have a pretty limited storage, which is pretty similar to Orleans. The boards seem like they have the same sort of circle spots that Orleans has for the tokens, that sort of stuff. I'm just interested to know if Tasty Minstrel Games is going to do their deluxified version like they did for Orleans, where instead of chits you had wooden pieces with stickers, because I love my deluxified copy of Orleans, so I'm going to be pretty conflicted whether to pick this up at Essen or to hopefully wait for a deluxified copy. We'll see. Plan B Games announced Azul. This is a new tile drafting and placement game from Michael Kiesling, a very renowned designer, winner of multiple Spiel des Jahres. So I'm very excited about this. I love tile laying games. I like Kiesling's designs a lot. In it, you are actually placing tiles, like on a floor, to make a beautiful patterned floor. And the pieces are these resin, like hard plastic tiles that have been that have patterns placed on them, so it's a gorgeous looking game, and I'm really excited about it. I read through the rules. It's kind of weird, but I'm pretty excited about trying it out. It's those simple rules that seem like they have nice emergent gameplay, but without playing it, it just seems like very simple rules. It should be out at Essen this year. I've already pre-ordered it because, yeah, it's Michael Kiesling and it's a cool tile-laying game, so yeah. This week's Kickstarter is for the Network Executives. This is an expansion for the game The Networks, which is probably the funniest and one of the most thematic Euro games that I've played. The base game, The Networks, basically you're TV executives and you're trying to fill time slots with different shows and match up advertisers and match star power to them and stuff like that. It's really funny. It's got like weird artwork. I highly recommend it. It's a good game. So the executives, the biggest thing that it adds is it adds in executives, which are basically variable player powers. I think there are 12 different executives you can pick from. Each one has a power, but they also have like a drawback. It also is going to add in new shows, Season 0 shows, and mogul cards. And it is $29 right now on Kickstarter. And if you're interested in buying that and the base game, you can do that for $75 on Kickstarter. Alright, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Instagram and Twitter. So, the reason I missed the past 3 weeks is my dad actually died last week. It was expected. He was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer in January of this year, And I didn't know this, but I'm sure most people do. Pancreatic cancer is like almost always terminal. It's a really rough cancer because by the time it's detectable, it's usually already spread, which it had in the case of my dad. It was definitely a big surprise in January. He was only 65 years old and he was very, very healthy. He cycled every day. He ate healthy his entire life. He's a very active guy. So cancer doesn't care about that stuff, which is a bummer. So I have been dealing with that. They don't tell you after somebody dies, which is weird. I don't know. You don't think about this stuff. Like, you only think about the dying, I guess. But the week after somebody dies, you have a whole lot of work to do very rapidly in funeral planning and all that kind of stuff. My dad was a very beloved minister and a professor in our area, so his funeral was huge. It was very well attended, and it was really beautiful. So that happened. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about it because, I don't know, I feel like I know you people, and social media, I do know a lot of you people, and so I want you to be a part of this. Not that I wish this upon you, but yeah. So I was taking account of some of like my regrets with my father, and I didn't have a lot because we knew a long time that, you know, we had months to know and prepare, so there wasn't like these major things like things left unsaid or anything like that. But there were a lot of things that while we knew he was sick, his death actually came pretty rapidly, which in his case was very good because it meant he wasn't sick for very long at all. But we thought we were going to have more time with him, which I think you always do. And one of the things is that Flamme Rouge, one of my favorite games, you know, I really wanted to play Flamme Rouge with him. And as I said, he was an avid cyclist. He loved the Tour de France. We watched it when I was a kid. And I didn't do that. And I wish I had done that. I think he would have liked it. I think he would have gotten a kick out of a game that he could kind of identify with a little bit. Stuff like that. I'm also bummed out that he didn't live long enough to see my first published game come out, but he played the prototype and he got to see it all along the way, so, you know, he got to experience it, which was cool, and he was very proud that I was making that, which was cool, and very supportive of that. So, yeah, I don't have, like, a greater theme. There's no, like, you know, tie-up. I guess it is play games with people you love. Don't put stuff off, because who knows when it's going to be your last day. But me and my family are doing all right. My dad was very at peace with the idea of death, which helped a lot. I think that there was no conflict there. We're all kind of used to it. We've had a lot of people in my family die. My dad being a minister, been to a lot of funerals throughout my whole life. So it's certainly a bummer that he's gone, but we're all doing okay. Yeah, so that is my pretty good reason that I missed the past couple weeks. Hopefully I can stick with the every week schedule moving forward, and Essen's right around the corner. I'm going to be heading there, so that's going to be a lot of prep, and hopefully I can put something together there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, but anyway, so thanks for tuning in this week, and I will see you next week.